12:30 already. Can you believe that?
Here we go.
Thanks for joining us this half hour. I'm Brian Yacono.
And I'm Amanda Hill. As always, we're joined by Ryan Breton with a first look at the forecast. Listen, I'm starting Thursday off with a rant here because in your last block, you were talking about Big Mama, that big horse.
Yep.
God love her. But if she were a man, she would be named something cool like Zeus or like something godlike.
Very true. Excellent point.
Girl, you deserve better than Big Mama.
You're right. We would never call him Big Papa.
No.
Right. He would have a
He'd
cool
be
name.
godlike.
Yes.
Right. I mean, there was Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Okay. Touche.
He was one of a kind, though.
I appreciate your rant.
Yeah.
That's a fair take.
100%.
Also to point out, we didn't name her.
No, I know. No. You guys had nothing to do with the story.
Right.
Yeah. But that's still impressive. She's
100%. Yeah.
God bless her.
I'm gonna marinate on this and try to think of a better name now. You're right.
Listen, I'm coming into Thursday hot. Let's go.
I love it. I like this energy.
The weather, it's sticky out there and it's a little wet.
Yeah, it's so humid. And it's funny, especially in the month of June where the ocean is still really cool. When we get these really humid air masses, you get low clouds and fog that develop over the ocean.
Mixed in with it.
Right. So we've started to see some sun farther inland and north, and that's trying to work down to the coast. I've got a couple of webcams to show you that. This is looking out over Casco Bay from Freeport, where you really don't see much sun. You might be able to see a little hazy sun, but this deck of clouds is taking a little while to erode. But in Bangor, it's hazy and it's very warm and very humid right now. Satellite imagery shows that pretty well. We have sun that's broken out in the western foothills up through about the Belgrade Lakes. Then it's fully sunny from Penobscot Bay northward. Right at the coast, we're starting to break those clouds apart, and we should see a little bit more sun develop this afternoon. Dew points tell the story, though. Many people 70 plus, which this is the first time this year we've felt dew points this high or humidity levels this high. So it does feel very humid out there right now. 79 in Bangor, as I mentioned, with the sun, 82 in Freiburg, 80 in Sanford, and low 80s in northern Maine right now. So through the afternoon, there will be a few spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but it's only about a 30% chance in any given spot. Not everybody will see rain out there this afternoon. Tonight's going to be muggy. I think cloudiness and fog will continue at the coast. And then tomorrow, that cloud cover again will take a while to erode at the coast, while inland it'll be partly sunny, very humid, with some pop-up showers and storms tomorrow afternoon. We continue to think, guys, though, we'll get this out of here for the weekend. So there will be one more line of showers and storms tomorrow night, but Saturday is looking good, and most of Sunday, too.
All right.
Nice when we can salvage a lot of it.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes, Ryan. Thanks. U.S. military officials now say they have disabled an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman.
It happened when the U.S. and Iran fired missiles at one another last night. U.S. Central Command says a U.S. aircraft fired 2 missiles into the vessel's engine room yesterday. Officials say the tanker was attempting to transport Iranian oil. That's a violation of the current U.S. blockade. This marks the 3rd time the U.S. has disabled a vessel this week.
In response to last night's missile fire, Iran's new Strait Authority said it is closing the Strait of Hormuz until further notice. U.S. Central Command pushing back on the Persian Gulf Strait Authority's claim, saying that commercial ships continue to transit in and out of the strait, but the Iranian officials denied that claim. The Strait Authority says any applicants who have a transit permit are asked to wait for new guidance. The critical waterway has been limited for months because of the war. In fact, visible traffic through the strait is estimated to be just 15% of pre-war levels, according to J.P. Morgan.
The most notable effect of the strait's closure is its impact on gas prices in the U.S. Here in Maine, regular gas is going for about $4.20 a gallon. For diesel, that price jumps to nearly $5.60. According to the latest data, prices are highest in Knox County right now at around $4.40 a gallon.
The jump in fuel costs also having an impact on wholesaling. So a new government report released today shows wholesale inflation rose sharply in the last month. The producer price index jumped more than 1% in May, pushing the annual rate to 6.5%. That is the highest level in more than 3 years. Economists say the rising business costs may trickle down to consumers in the next few months.
On Tuesday, voters in Jay and Wilton rejected combining police forces. The decision was part of a non-binding referendum. Voters had a choice between keeping their police departments separate, creating a combined department governed by both towns, or contracting with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. A majority of voters in both towns voted to keep the departments separate. As votes were being counted, it was not yet clear whether either town would continue to pursue police collaboration or whether town officials would need to take action to officially end the process. After months of uncertainty, the town of Camden is moving forward with plans to keep its own police department.
Polling results collected on Maine primary day show the majority of voters support that decision. The first question asked whether residents prefer a town-operated police department. More than 2,000 people voted yes, nearly 300 voted no. The second question asked if residents wanted a full-time police chief. More than 1,400 saying yes to that, 97 voting no. And the third question asked if residents wanted to use an outside agency for their police services, such as the Knox County Sheriff's Office. Results show that nearly 900 people voted yes, nearly 1,500 voted no. It comes after months of efforts by residents who petitioned to get these items before the voters. The chair of the select board, Susan Dorr, says even though the votes were non-binding, they do carry weight.
Camden will maintain patrol officers in Camden police cars in town. We'll have, desk officers. We'll have detectives and sergeants and lieutenants, just as we have, and a Camden base police chief, which is what the people have expressed that they want.
The police department and the town is in the process of hiring a full-time police chief. Well, some people, meanwhile, in Ellsworth have now launched a petition to recall 5 of their city councilors.
Petition organizers say they have concerns over city spending and lack of transparency. They argue the council's recent spending decisions are driving up property taxes. Last month, 5 councilors voted to censure fellow councilor Steve O'Halloran following allegations he bullied city staff and interfered in city operations. Some leaders warn the recall could disrupt local government, while supporters say the current council fails to represent the community's best interests.
Because people felt like they were in despair, right? They're just supposed to deal with their taxes. They're supposed to just not, it doesn't matter if they walk into City Hall or not. Nobody listens to them.
To have those 5 councilors removed from office in retaliation would be devastating for city morale. But again, with 2 councilors, you can't get any business done.
Petition organizers must gather more than 1,200 valid signatures by June 26 to move the effort forward. If that happens, a recall election will be held later this summer.
Coming up next on News Center Maine Afternoon, 207 producer Aaron Tangway joining us with a preview of tonight's show, including a look back at the history of the phone and the New England Museum dedicated to keeping that history alive.